So again, welcome back. And there has been some request to do the refuge. So those who are doing for the first time, and for others, if you want to renew, you can also do, or you can just observe how you want to feel. And before we do the refuge ceremony, we just not doesn't take long and it's not complicating. Simple. First, I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. Um, and refuge is kind of formal way of, formally becoming a Buddhist. You know, informally, you don't have to do ceremony to be a Buddhist. If you really have refuge in your heart, that is, and that is what it really matters. Um, but this is more kind of formal. Um, what is refuge and why we go for refuge and how we go for refuge? Maybe I might want to discuss a little bit on that. Um, the motivation for the refuge, the intention, motivation, the reason why we go for refuge is because, as we have been discussing this morning and a few days, by understanding, that as long in samsara, regardless of what situation samsara, you are never free from the suffering completely. Um, it's like changing from one bad prison to better prison, or from better prison to the worst prison. Basically, you are still in prison of samsara, prison of the delusion, prison of. So, by when we meditate, contemplate more on the nature of the samsara, that is what samsara means, the nature of samsara, then that is what it really is, and come to that understanding, and therefore, you know, the wish to get out of that prison, even the prison better one, relatively, since it's a prison, since we have no control, freedom, and so therefore, regardless, the wish to, so cultivating or generating wish to be free from the samsara and the cause of samsara, the karma and the delusions. So that should be the motivation to go for refuge. That is the reason why we go for refuge. And especially in terms of Mahayana refuge, then not only for yourself, but also just all sentient beings, as long as they are in the prison of samsara, then they are also suffering just like ourselves. And sometimes they are in maybe a little bit better conditions in the prison, and sometimes worse kind of the prison, but still they are. So then, with the compassion, with the compassion thought of not only yourself, but in order to liberate and free also others from the prison of samsara and cause of the samsara, the delusion and the karma. So then you need to have that for a Mahayana refuge, not only the wish to liberate from samsara yourself, but the wish to liberate all sentient beings from the samsara and the cause of samsara. So that is the motivation um, for the refuge. Um, the object of refuge is Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And Buddha Dhamma Sangha, as Material explained, is the object of refuge for those who wish true liberation, those who wish to free from samsara. Hmm? They are the ultimate refuge for that. Um, so, Buddha is anyone, any beings, who are free from all the obscurations, the obscuration of defilement, as well as the subtle obscurations of the knowledge, and someone who have actualized all the positive qualities, highest level of love, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, you know, um, that is the Buddha, you know, no more obscurations, and have actualized and achieved all the positive, inner positive qualities. There's no more to achieve, there's no more to, whatever there is to achieve, inner positive qualities has been already actualized and achieved. So any being of that is a Buddha. In whatever form they might appear, they might appear different. They could appear in any different form, but as long as that, then that is the Buddha. You know, and the Dharma, mainly, the Dharma is the wisdom realizing the emptiness directly. That is the actual Dharma, the, the ultimate Dharma. And then, conventionally, all the scriptures, books, texts that explain how to actualize that wisdom within our mind. And we can say that is the unconventional Dharma. But ultimate Dharma is the wisdom realizing the emptiness directly. And Sangha is those Arya beings, ultimate is those Arya beings who have actualized that wisdom realized emptiness directly within their mind stream. And that is Arya Sangha. And on conventional level, is a community that has both the practitioner of ordained and lay practitioners. You know, um, mm, and there are many different ways of saying. Sometimes even they are not Arya being or Arya Sangha, but when there is a full ordination, then that community becomes a Sangha. You know, individually they are not Arya Sangha, but when there is four, more than four of them, then it becomes a Sangha community. And then also in others, where there is a community, where there is the lay practitioner with the lay vows, male and females, and then in terms of order, when there's a full um, order and then novice, then that community is normally on convent Sangha. And so those that are the, of course, if we go in much detail, then again we can get lost. We can talk about, different form of Buddhas, uh, Dharmakaya Buddha, Nirvanakaya, Sambhogakaya, all. Um, we don't need to go all of that at the moment. Um, let's try to keep it a little bit more simple. Um, so we have to understand the purpose of going for refuge, object of refuge. So when we go to refuge, to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, we are not going to refuge to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha to fix our ordinary problems. Okay? That is not the purpose. That is not the reason. That is not the motivations. We don't go to refuge the Buddha Dhamma Sangha because I'm having some health issue. He can fix it. I'm having some relationship problem, so they can fix it. I'm having some some financial problems, so they can help me to fix it. That is not how we go refuge. For that, we have ordinary experts, doesn't have to be fully enlightened, who are expert in those areas. We go for that and seek their help. The refuge we go to the Dhamma Sangha and seek their help is what? To be liberated from samsara. That is what, we seek their help, blessing, guidance, inspirations to free and liberate from samsara and the delusions come. That important to have that basic understanding from the very beginning. Otherwise, when we have some problem, we pray to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and then feel like, oh, anything didn't change, or doesn't seem to change, doesn't seem to improve, doesn't seem to change, and feel like the purpose of refuge is not served. Do you get it? Mm. What is the point of going refuge? What is the point of doing this practice and that practice? Because that didn't seem to change at the moment. That can happen and lose your faith, lose your refuge, and all of that, because from the very beginning, you make a mistake. Reason to go for refuge. From the very beginning, we make a mistake. The reason to go for refuge, because the reason to go to refuge, we take refuge to fix the ordinary things, problems. So in order to not to end up in such, then from the very beginning we have to be clear. We have to be clear why we go for refuge. And that is why we need the Buddha Dhamma Sangha for such a refuge. To fix our health problems, we don't need the Buddha. We can rely on some expertise in that area and all other temporary, in the way we go for refuge, is by seeing the Buddha, as like the doctor, okay, but to fix our problem of our illness or delusions. illness of the delusions. And then we go refuge to the Dharma by seeing it as like the actual cure, the medicine itself. By seeing the Dharma is the one, the actual cure, the actual medicine that can heal or that can cure our illness of those delusion afflicted emotions, which are the root of the samsara. And by seeing the Sangha as like the nurse assistants, that help us to take the medicine at the right time, the right dose, and all other helping us to do whatever exercise, whatever other things that we need. Similarly, the Sangha members, it's like those nurse, the assistants that can support on our path, through when we are kind of, sometimes we feel kind of unenthusiastic or discouraged. Our Dharma brothers, Sanghas, they can help us to give more enthusiasm, more encouragement through the advice, through talking, through their practice, through engaging Dharma brothers, sisters, when we have doubt or when we have certain, not clear about something, engage in discussions to help each other and trying to help to clear some, if we can, whatever whatever you, according to your, so that is what, it is, to support each other. That is what Dharma, brothers, sisters, the Sangha is for. To support each other on our spiritual path, on our spiritual level, from that. And then we see ourselves as the patients. As the patients. So of course, if we are sick physically, if we are physically sick, first thing is to find the right doctor. The doctor who know about that illness, expert about that particular illness very well, who can advise, describe what the exactly illness is, cause, whatever, all of that, and then to be able to prescribe the right treatment, right medicine. That is the Buddha, For this, Buddha is someone, who know exactly, just not intellectually, but experientially, directly with experience, why we are caught in samsara, what samsara is, what is the cause of the samsara, and how to liberate from samsara. He himself had done that, and with that experience, and with that knowledge, and with all the incredible, unconditional, unlimited, unbiased compassions, and then who know with the right wisdom and skillful means know exactly how to, help us to free from the samsara and the delusions according to the way we can relate, the way we can understand, according to individuals' mindset, predispositions. mental levels. And so having not only the knowledge, the wisdom, but also having that unconditional, unbiased love, compassion. And sometimes even you have that, if you don't have the skillful means, the wisdom skillful means also, but having the right skillful means all the wisdom. So too, because of that's the Buddha is the perfect, qualified, like a doctor refuge to fix this internal illness. And even you found such doctor, and then you rely on that. In terms of the doctor, absolutely he or she is able to exactly know what the problem is, know exactly what is the treatment, and he or she prescribe you the treatment. But if you don't take the treatment, you will not be able to heal it. Is in that case, is problem with the doctor? No, it's our problem because we didn't do the right thing that the doctor prescribed us to do. The diet, exercise, whatever other things that it need to be to completely cure. So to completely cure, you have to take whatever medicine, whatever treatment correctly as it is prescribed. Sometimes we don't do that, and then we blame the doctor. In the same way, sometimes we don't do that, then we might blame the Buddha. You know, if we don't do that, we don't practice, of course, we are not going to make improvement. And we don't make improvement, so we don't transform and change, and then we feel like, oh, this method doesn't work, or the Buddha who showed that method, whatever, all of that. So then we blame the cure, the treatment itself, as well as the one who prescribe. So in order to cure your illness, you have to take the medicine. As again, Shangdev and others says, you know, what is the point of talking about the cure unless you really take it, to really have the result? You have to take the medicine. It's not enough just saying how good this medicine is and all of that. Similarly, same thing here. We have to practice and actualize that dharma within our mind. When you actualize that dharma within your own mindset, then that is the real refuge, the ultimate refuge. That is what protects you from everything. When you have that refuge, the wisdom relies in emptiness, it protects you from the rebirth in the lower rebirth, as well as in samsara rebirth, and from all the other sufferings. That is the actual cure, the ultimate refuge. And the way we go refuge, that is to actualize that wisdom, the Dharma within ourselves. Wanting to actualize that wisdom within our, not kind of somewhere outside that Dharma and we just say, you're great and this and that. Actually, to actualize that Dharma within yourself, that is where the protection comes. That is where the cure, treatment comes. So to actualize that Dharma within yourself. And by actualizing Dharma yourself, then one thing, the way we take refuge, the Sangha is, not only we kind of take their support and help in our spiritual path as a Dharma brother, sister, but also to become yourself, the Arya Sangha, to become yourself, the Arya Sangha, by actualizing that wisdom. And eventually, to become yourself, the Buddha, yourself, the Buddha. So in that way, we take refuge to your own potentials, the potential to become Buddha, the potential to have that wisdom within yourself, the potential to become Sangha within yourself. Not only just outside, external there is Buddha and there the wisdom there and that, but also to your own potentials, that we have all the potential to become, actualize the Dharma within ourselves, Buddha and Sangha and Buddha ourselves. Sometimes the term we use is, the causal refuge and the resultant refuge. Causal refuge you go, let's say, for example, the refuge to the Buddha Shakyamuni, and the Dharma out there, and Sangha, someone there. Resultant refuge is, we have all this potential to become Sangha, to actualize the Dharma and become Arya Sangha and the Buddha. And then, trusting and having the faith in that, your own that potential as well. Mm. At the moment, even we might not be able to actualize the wisdom realizing emptiness directly, even though that is what we want to actualize, and the bodhicitta mind, even though we have that's what we want to actualize, that Dharma within ourselves, even though we are on it. At least, by taking refuge, we try to practice the refuge precepts, and the refuge precepts, one of the precepts is, by taking refuge in Dharma, not to hurt and harm intentionally other sentient beings. That is avoiding. There are three to avoid and three to practice in relation to each of those Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Mm. So in terms of what to avoid in relation to the Dharma is to avoid hurting and harming others intentionally, knowingly. And that means, intentionally, trying to avoid the 10 non-virtuous actions and trying to live in 10 virtues. Trying to avoid 10 non-virtuous actions and trying to live in 10 virtuous actions. Because those 10 non-virtuous actions hurt and harm others. Directly, indirectly. And when you live your life based on that, when you live your life on that principle, on that value, you try to avoid hurting and harming others. And you try to help as much as you can on the basis of that. When you are able to do that, that is where true protections for you from taking, let's say, having a rebirth in low rebirth. If you don't practice that, just praying in your life, you try to, engage in the actions that is opposite of that. you know, intentionally, knowingly, you know, voluntarily hurting, harming, creating, bringing so much pain and suffering all your life, and then just praying for Buddha to protect you from that doesn't work that way. You know, if you read the benefit of the refuge, having taken refuge, one of them, is protection from rebirth in lower realms. How does that happen? This is how it happens. You know, the way it happens is you take refuge and then you try to practice those precepts, live by that precept. And if you practice and live by that precept, then definitely that is what protects you. And that is the Dharma that protects you. And that is same that we talk about, cause and effect, creating the right cause. Mm. So refuge is, and so yeah. Mm. So refuge is when you have total, trust, confidence, faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha to be able to support, help us on our path to liberate from the samsara and the delusions, to release, you know, um, in other words, you know, seeing the Buddha as the teacher who show you the path how to do that, and having trust, faith in that the Buddha has the ability and knowledge and all of that skill to help us to show the right path. And Dharma is the actual path, the path itself. Mm. And Sangha is those spiritual community that support us on the path. Mm. So having the trust in that path, having the trust in Buddha, trust, faith, confidence in Buddha for his guidance or the path that he showed, and the trust, confidence, um, faith in the path itself, and the trust, confidence, faith in um, the Sangha to help to support on the path, and that is the trust, confidence, and faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha for that purpose, and the faith in all of them is as mentioned at the very beginning to help us to free from the delusions, the samsara and the cause of the samsara, the delusion and karma, so that um, so I think that is a little bit on refuge. Okay. And when we have refuge ceremonies, different teachers might have different traditions, different ways. Some teachers, and again, one can just take refuge and not take a lay vows. That's two things. Or one can take refuge and lay vows. Okay. There are 5 lay vows, and those vows are for the rest of life. Um, and If you feel ready for all, well, first there are different traditions. Some teachers, either you take all or don't take that. It's come to that package. It's a different tradition. Different teachers have different. In some teachers, and they will give option, which is also in the scriptures as well. Options. If you feel ready to take all five, you can take it. If you feel you are not ready to take all five, but you are ready to take just four, you can take just four, two, or one. Um, um, you know, so in terms of those lay vows, not killing. And the main of these vows, the main one, not killing human beings. If you kill him, then you break the vows from the very root. And that is the one. But of course, we try not to take a life. So, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. Again, that can be, you can see, what sexual misconduct can be very broad, or you can make it more simple. If you can go in some of the teachings when they go too details, it can be. But as His Holiness, normally we just keep it more simple. That you don't have physical relationship with someone's wife, husband. Or anyone if you have in that kind of relationship. Being kind of faithful in your relationship, because that will destroy both families. It hurts the both families. So that sexual misconduct and lying, and also in terms of lying, we call it big lie. And big lie is spiritual lie. Spiritual lie, even when you don't have realization, emptiness, bodhicitta, or all other realization, then you kind of lie and pretend that you have all these realizations. That is what I call big lie. And if we do the big lie, then you break the vow from very root. And so, of course, also as much as we can, we don't try to lie, even in general. But the main one is that spiritual lie. And then the other ones, fifth one is intoxicate. Drinking or using other substance like drugs. Mm? Because when you use them, then they can, again, it can destroy you, your life, and people around you. Alcohol itself might not be, by nature, is not a negative by itself. But the problem is when you start drinking, then you can get drunk. And when you get drunk, then a lot of problems can arise, create a lot of problems. You know, that is one of the main reasons. And same with the drugs. And not only problem for yourself, you create a lot of problem for others. So that is, of course, sometimes we feel, oh, we need a little bit to drink for socializing. As though we cannot socialize if we don't drink. Sometimes it's just an excuse for us. We try to find any excuse in a lot of things. There are a lot of people who have stopped drinking and they socialize very well. Very well. They have not been outcast. from their circle, friends, families, you know, or especially now is especially maybe at certain time it was more difficult. Everyone's drinking; they don't have other options. Now, I think there is much more options for people's understanding of so anyway, um, and even though sometimes a lot of time we feel well I will not abuse it you know yes we do have you might have that intention not wanting to abuse it just drink enough where you know but what I've noticed in many places including our community as well you know if they know you are drinking even you feel you find they keep on pouring
Mhm.
out of good intention from their side being generous and nothing going to happen just one more just
Mhm.
one more someone say one more another one says some more and then you are in there you know and you are in a state that you didn't want to be because once they know you are drinking they want to offer and they want to offer more and sometimes they can it doesn't happen just one more glass doesn't hurt you. You know, that happens sometimes you know sometime when you are feeling low your mind feeling low then you might easy to kind of as a relief for the pain whatever you are going through whatever dealing with you might just reach out for that and that can be the beginning of going that direction but if someone has taken them preset vows then even in such situation then they will not touch because of that vows so it protects you it protect from a lot of possible um, bad situations, a lot of possible um, difficult situation that one can end up. So it's a protection. To protect yourself. Is to protect yourself. Not only yourself, your family, friends. You know, when someone is totally drunk and in that kind of situation, not only it affect that individual, it affect the whole family, everyone. So anyway, so those are the five lay vows. Even in that case, some teachers, even give some exceptions. If some people doesn't really feel they cannot really stop drinking, then some teacher might say, not more than one glass, for example. I heard that Lama used to do that, give that options. Um, and I think he's always also mentioned about um, Ling Rinpoche, second Ling Rinpoche, the previous Ling Rinpoche, about giving that option because when he was one of the students, I can do all, but not, I cannot give up the chant. I can do all of them, but I cannot stop that one. And so then he said, okay, you can do it, but with a limited, kind of. So like that, sometimes. So, so when I do the refuge and labor ceremony, I also try to keep a little bit kind of not so strict, you know, based on how people feel they are ready, how many, so that is. the case. Yeah. And of course, we take what is the refuge precept vows or lay vows. We take with the best intentions, not to break them and keep them. But also, we have to be also realistic. We are ordinary, still ordinary beings who are full of delusions. Just as you want to be perfect, it's hard to be perfect. It's not because you don't want to be, not because you don't try to be, you know. And so sometimes maybe we're not being mindful enough. Sometimes even we try to be mindful, the delusion are too strong. And sometimes we might have done something that could hurt or damage the precept, the vows we take. And then when we notice that, when we realize that, we try to do the purification as soon as possible. You know, we try to do the purifications. And whenever opportunity arises, try to review them, and then try to do the purifications. And that's how we move forward. Um, those who are taking refuge, have they done the refuge module?
Some people have, and then there are people here who want to take it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I did go over a couple things with them before in here.
Okay, so then probably then I don't need to go all of that, you know. But if there's any cautions before we do the ceremony, I would, if anyone has any cautions regarding any of the refuge labels, anything, any clarity you need, any doubt you have, yes, please.
I wasn't here last week when Namcho explains more about it, but I took refuge previously when I was living in Mexico. It's kind of like I renew, so I don't know
Yes,
if
yes.
I'm ready or not to take it.
Yeah, if you have already taken this, then we can always renew
Renew
it.
it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. And in terms of the lay vows, for example, someone at the very beginning, you might have felt, I'm not ready for all, just ready for 2, 3, 5, 4, you take. And later you feel more ready, then you can take, when you renew it, you can take those as well. That's another things that, other things that maybe if you have not taken before, some of the vow, you feel ready, but now if you feel ready and you don't take it, then that is another one can also take that too. Um, and one of the things that I just wanted to kind of mention, whether it's a refuge, whether it's a lay vows, whether it's a both sort of vows, or sometimes we feel we are not ready because we feel like we're not perfect. I don't think I can keep all of them. I will wait until I feel I can keep all of them perfect. If you wait up to that, you don't need to take it. If you are perfect, why you need it? The Buddha doesn't need all this. Because there's no need to break it. The vow is to protect, is to protections. There is like the protections. And because of that, then even when we sometimes mistake really break it. But again, from next day or from that moment, again you try to keep them. Again you try to work with that. And that's how slowly we get better and better and better. Better and better and better. It's a tool. It's a tool to help us to, avoid from engaging in something that is harmful, that is distracted to oneself and others. So it's a tool. When you reach a point where you are all so well perfect, and when you don't do any of those things, then there's no need of the vows. That is another kind of. I just wanted to share because a lot of time that's how you might. Sometimes people feel that way. Any others? Is there any questions? Yeah.
Good. See.
Whenever teacher, I have my community, family, and friends from around the world, studying from Moscow to Queensland, Australia to Canada, London, and also some of the conflict regions. Yeah, I humbly request on behalf of all of them, I take a few.
Okay.
No questions. Here.
And the ceremony itself is quite. Probably it won't take too much. It's as I mentioned, it's more of coming from your side. Okay. I'm just kind of the guiding. I'm not one who's really giving you the refuge. Do you get it? For the vows. The refuge vows come from you. It has come from yourself. If it doesn't come from yourself, I can do this ceremony, it doesn't mean anything. So, but the ceremony we do, as I say, is more kind of formal. Is to guide to kind of guide through to feel those the the refuge in your heart. And so that is the and the ceremony is the 3 times of repetitions, repetitions that I go to Buddha, I go to refuge the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Of course, we have little longer version of that. I go to the Buddha, who is supreme among all the humans and God, and I go to refuge to Dharma, who is supreme among all the cessation. I go to refuge to the Dharma, which is supreme among all the supreme communities and so forth 3 times. And then there's a repetition, the vows, lay vows, how much ever lay vows you take it. If you take all 5, you can repeat all 5. If you take only 4, you can repeat 4. If you take only 3, you repeat 3, then you take it. Okay. And you don't have to repeat loudly, you can just repeat in your quietly. That is also fine, you can repeat so loudly that everyone outside can hear. Or you can repeat that you don't even hear yourself. So yeah, so that is, and I will when it comes, and part of this ceremony, one of the important parts, and the third repetitions. One a snap, and I will also explain at that time. And third repetition at the end of that is when, from your side, you really feel that you receive the refuge vows, the lay vows, how many ever you are taking. That is very important part of that from your side to really feel that. And so then it really become coming from your side. Okay? So before we first, maybe we'll try to do motivations, okay? Again, we can try to quiet your mind, calm your mind by watching the breath for a few moments, like this morning. And again, we can try to think, contemplate. As long as we are in samsara, driven by the delusion karma, there is no end to problem and suffering. The thing that we can have is sometimes few moments of rest or gap. But there's no end to permanent problem and suffering permanently. Always something, one after another. If we really think about it, it's very, really tiring. We have gone through like from beginner's lifetime, still like that. And how long we are going to go like that again? How long are we going to be slave and a prisoner of the delusions in the karma? Now is the time to really put in effort to free ourselves from this prisoner of the delusion and karma. Now is the best opportunity when we have this precious human life, met the Dharma, and know the Dharma a little bit, and have some interest. Therefore, without wasting and postponing any time, now I'm going to put effort as much as I can to free myself and all other sentient beings who are same situation like myself. To free them and myself from the prison of all the delusions in the karma. And to achieve total freedom, liberation, lasting true happiness, ultimate happiness, or fully awakened state. And to be able to do that, I must really practice. And for that very reasons, I'm going to take the refuge or renew the refuge and take lay vow or renew the lay vow. Okay. What is the page number?
30, 109.
Okay.
It's just, yeah. Let's see if there's everything with them. 109.
Okay. 111. And then, we try to again invoke all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as a witness here to take the precepts or to renew them. Try to feel the presence of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and to kind of as a witness to support us, to inspire us. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Then we can visualize all sentient beings surrounding ourselves. And as we do the following miracle, again, while we recite slowly, try to feel as much as possible. How wonderful it will be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from hatred and attachment, not holding some close and others distant. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. These Guru deity will ask me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we have happiness and its cause. I myself will cause them to have these. Please, Guru deity, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and its causes. May we be free of suffering and its causes. I myself cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Lord, let me bless me to be able to do this. How
How wonderful the all sentient beings are never separated from the happiness of fire, rebirth, and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guruji, bless me to be able to do this.
Share the short second link.
Did the short 7 minutes.
Yeah, I see.
It's 35.
Yeah, 35.
I think it's 30 or 36.
35. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So we do the second link and the short mandala for again for all the Buddha's bodhisattvas. Reverently, I prostrate my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, both thankful and active. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since the beginning of time, and categories of habits of all harm. Days and nights of every existence. I believe I dedicate my merit and absorb the great enlightenment. So, down, one, rain, down, in, well, the, so, okay, shake, go. Two, go, 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 go. So those who can, you can do teleportation with the Buddha Shakyamunis. Yeah. Prostrations, teleportations to the Buddha Shakyamuni. Those who can, otherwise you can just hold your hand. Yeah, you just try to visualize, think, you know. And those who can, you can nail down. And those who cannot, it doesn't matter. You can sit on the table, chair. And again, you might want to make yourself comfortable, because you might have to be in that state for 2 hours.
Awesome.
So don't the pain bother you. Don't the pain allow to bother you. You know, again, try to feel a little bit of, feeling of renunciations, sense, not being attached to any of the samsara, and samsara is excellent, no matter how they look, how great they look. In the end, they all in the nature of suffering. There's no true happiness in samsara. With that understanding, try to generate a strong wish, intention to free from samsara and cause of the samsara, the karma and the delusions. And then strong trust, confidence, and faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha to help us, to show us the path, to inspire us, to guide us to free from the samsara and cause of samsara. Having that strong faith, that strong trust, confidence. They are the perfect refuge to help to free from samsara. So with that, then try to repeat after me. All in one. Please pay attention to me. So you can say, quietly or loudly, So it's repeating after me, okay? All in one. Please pay attention to me.
Please pay attention to
I who am called. Call you, so you can say your name. For as long as I live,
as long as I live.
will take refuge in the Buddha,
Take refuge in the Buddha,
the supreme protector and the teacher.
the supreme protector.
Will take refuge in the Dhamma,
Take refuge in the Dharma,
the supreme cessation of defilements.
the cessation of defilements.
Will take refuge in the Sangha,
Will take refuge in
the supreme community.
the supreme community.
All in one.
Golden,
Please hold me
please
as an upasaka for men and upasaki for the women. Upasaka or saki, holding the three refuges. Again, try to generate a strong, trust, confidence, faith in Buddha Dhamma Sangha to help free from the samsara. And a strong wish to keep the Buddha Dhamma Sangha in our heart, in our mind, with us all the time, no matter what happens. Not only during the easy times, even most difficult time. Not only when we are suffering and having a lot of difficulty, also when we're happy and everything seems fine. Or other way around, every time, always keeping in our heart all the time. So with that strong determinations, inspirations, not to separate from the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, instead to keep them in our heart all the time. As our guidance, as our protector, as our teachers, as our leader, as our doctor. That then again repeat for the second time. Ordain one.
Golden One,
Please pay attention to me.
please pay attention to me.
I, who am called,
I can.
for as long as I live, will take refuge in the Buddha,
Will take refuge in
the supreme protector and teacher.
the supreme protector and teacher.
Will take refuge in the Dharma,
Will take refuge in the Dharma.
the supreme cessation of defilement.
The supreme cessation of defilement.
Will take refuge in the Sangha,
Will take refuge in the Sangha.
the supreme community.
The supreme
Ordain one.
Golden One,
Please hold me
please hold me
as an Upasaka
as a
holding three refuges. So again, try to generate a strong determinations to free and liberate from the prisoner of the delusion and karma, the samsara. And for that, taking refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha with total trust, confidence, faith. By taking the Buddha as the teacher, as the doctor, that can guide us, show us the path. By actualizing the Dharma within our mind, within ourselves, the actual refuge. And with the support of the Sangha community that would inspire, encourage, and support in our spiritual path. True Dharma brothers. So with that, we repeat for the third time. And at the very end, I will snap and I'll also kind of remind you, and that is where you really try to feel you receive the, the refuge vows for those who are taking refuge, and those who are taking lay vows also receiving lay vows as well together. And those who are renewing that. Okay. So for the third time, repeat, Master, please pay attention to me.
Please pay attention to me.
I, who am called, for as long as I live,
For as long as I live,
will take refuge in the Buddha,
will take refuge in the Buddha.
supreme protector and teacher.
Supreme protector and teacher.
Will take refuge in the Dharma,
Will take refuge in the Dharma.
the supreme cessation of defilement.
The cessation
Will take refuge in the Sangha,
will take refuge in the Sangha.
the supreme community.
Supreme community.
Master,
Master,
please hold me
please hold me.
as an Osaka, holding three refuges. So that is when it's very important to imagine, to think, to visualize that you receive the refuge vows, and if you are taking the lay vows, receiving the lay vows. And those who are renewing, that you have been renewed. Okay, then you can sit. And then next is the one repetitions of the vows, the lay vows. Again, try to generate strong wish, determinations to keep those vows as pure as possible, just as the previous Arhat has been able to keep them perfectly. In the same way, I'm going to try as much as I can to keep them as perfect as possible. So with that strong motivations, determinations, then we can repeat the vows. Masters, please pay attention to me.
And to me,
Just as the Arya for destroyers
as the Aryans,
have refrained for,
I will refrain from,
as long as they live,
as long as they live,
for taking the lives of others,
for taking the lives of others.
so shall I,
So I.
who am called
No.
from now on,
From now on,
as long as I live,
as long as I live,
refrain from
refrain from,
and abandon
abandon,
taking the life of others.
taking the life of others.
I will train in,
I will train,
complete,
complete,
and perfect the
and perfect that.
advice of those Arya for destroyers by following their examples.
By following their examples.
Also, just as Arya for destroyers
Also, this is Arya stories.
have abandoned
Have
stealing others' possessions,
stealing others' possession,
engaging in sexual misconduct,
engaging in sexual misconduct,
speaking false words,
speaking false words,
and drinking alcohol and taking intoxicants,
drinking alcohol, and taking intoxicants,
which are careless activities
which are careless activities,
that make one confused.
make one confused.
So shall I,
So shall I,
who am called, for as long as I live,
as I live,
will refrain from
will refrain from
stealing other possessions,
stealing other possessions,
engaging in sexual misconduct,
engaging in sexual misconduct,
speaking false words,
speaking false words,
and drinking alcohol,
and drinking alcohol,
and taking intoxicants,
and taking intoxicants,
which are careless activities
which are careless activities
that make one confused.
that make one confused.
I will train in,
I will train,
complete,
complete,
and perform
and perform
the advices of
the
those Arya for destroyers
desirous foreign destroyers.
by following their example.
By following their examples.
So then I said, Tabino, you said Lexo. Tabino means this is the method. Tabino.
Yes.
Okay. So then you can do 3 prostrations to the Buddha Shakyamuni as a thanksgiving or as a thanking. We see it, yeah. So then we try to again take a few moments to bring our attention to the breath. then we can try to rejoice for making the decisions, wonderful decisions and commitment to take the precept, the vows, or to renew them. So that we can live more kind, compassionate life. To become a better person. And not only making the decisions, commitment to take those precepts, but actually taking them is wonderful. It's rare that we make such commitments often. We also rejoice for giving our time throughout the weekend, taking the time off, even we have our own busy life, to listen to the Dharma, to study, to practice. How wonderful. And we also rejoice for all others who have made the effort, time to come and to study the Dharma and to practice the Dharma as much as we can. And we can rejoice all the virtue of yourself 40 times, past, present, future. And rejoice the virtues of all sentient beings, ordinary sentient beings. And all the virtues of all the arhat, those who are on the path to arhat, all the bodhisattvas, on all different level of path and Buddhas, and all the Buddhas. And so having taken such precept and vows with the best intention, motivations, so there's a lot of virtues, and those vows, precepts are unpolluted at the moment. So if we make heartfelt dedications, then it becomes more powerful. So we can try to dedicate. We can try to dedicate all the virtues that once and others created in 3 times. To achieve fully awakened state and liberate all sentient beings to that fully enlightened state. And we should also dedicate for oneself and all sentient beings to actualize the Bodhicitta mind of wisdom, realizing emptiness. And those who have already actualized, not to diminish, but increase more and more. And we dedicate all these virtues for all who are not feeling well physically, emotionally, mentally, disturbed. Especially those who are in hospital, those who are in a war zone, where there is a lot of physical, mental anguish, a lot of disturbed minds. To heal all of that. And we also dedicate all these virtues, for all the violence, that violence that is going throughout the world on many different levels. To end all this war, all this violence. And to find a better, peaceful, harmonious situations, better solutions to the problems. So there is more peace, harmonious, happiness for all who are involved. And we can also dedicate all virtues for all sentient beings who are experiencing obstacles, whatever form of obstacles they are experiencing in their life. May all those obstacles and the cause of obstacles be immediately pacified. May they all find perfect solution to their problems. And all their wishes to be fulfilled according to the Dharma. And may all sentient beings who have passed away in recent time, may they be free from all the fear, suffering, and the pardon. And wherever they are in the world, may they all be free from all the suffering, cause of suffering. May they all have perfect human rebirth. Meet the Dharma from the young age, actualize the Dharma within their mind stream, and achieve fully enlightened state. And may His Holy Dalai Lama and all the holy beings, gurus, have long, healthy life. May all their noble wishes, projects, deeds be accomplished without any obstacles. And may we be always under their guidance in this life, in Pardo, in all future lives, until we achieve enlightenment. Under their guidance, care. And may we always please them by putting all their advice, teachings, instruction into practice. And may Kevin Lamasova Bush and all the other holy beings who have passed away in recent times, may they swiftly return and continue to guide and continue to help sentient beings, including ourselves. And may we be able to follow the perfect example set by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in engaging our path, practice the Dharma. And may our prayer and dedication be same as the incredible prayer and dedication made by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 10 times. Due to 3 times the merit, which empty from his own side, may I, which empty from his own side, achieve fully enlightened state, which empty from his own side, and lead all sentient beings, which empty from his own side, to that fully enlightened state by myself alone. Okay, if you go to page number 113, there's the dedication.
Super, thank you, Madam.
Okay.
Thank you, Mandala, that on the concluding prayers and request for the Lama to remain well. Yes.
Didn't really hear what Pete said.
I'm sorry. We're giving a thanking mandala and request for the Lama to remain long, concluding prayers. And then after, Geshe wants us to do the dedication on page 113, right?
Yeah.
His crown anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, mountain rid 4 continents. I imagine this is food of you and all fruit, may all living beings destroy this pure land. May my parent, Lama's life be pure, his white divine actions spread in infinite directions. May the torch and the teachings of God always remain, dispelling the darkness of all beings. And we'll do the long dedication prayers and all.
113, yeah.
113, yeah.
Due to this merit,
May I soon attain the enlightened state of Guru Buddha, that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May the born now decline but increase grow. May sentient beings who have all been my mothers and father be completely happy, and may the lower realms to be empty. May all the prayers of the Bodhisattvas, whatever places they live, be immediately fulfilled. Whatever virtues I have created, I dedicate as causes enabling me to the regards of scriptures and insights, and to the fulfilled exception that prayers of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas at 3 times. And the forces of this merit may I never be parted in all my lives before wheels of Mahayana vehicle, and may I reach the end of the journey along the paths of renunciation, bodhicitta, the pure view, and the 2 stages of tantra.
So that is it. So yeah, again, thank you very much for attending all sessions, some sessions, and you might have learned something. You might, if you haven't learned anything, something new, maybe hopefully it might have reminded you something, and hopefully that there is something that you can work on, because we talk so much, we might not be able to apply everything, it's going to take time and effort, but at least, we try to see some of points that you find meaningful, helpful, and then try to work on one, that you find that might be helpful, beneficial, and that is what I need to work on, whatever something that you found. So and so that is how we move on. One ahead. When we talk about the whole master plan. Okay. When you talk about the whole master plan, is the plan of many lifetimes. So you have some idea. But at the same time, you shouldn't be overwhelmed because there's so much in that master plan. You just work with one project at a time, and then without feeling overwhelmed, working with one project at a time and slowly moving. And that's how we progress. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Joshua, people would like to give offerings to you. It's all right. You just stay seated.
Okay.
My sister has the recording.
You don't have to be.
I don't have the stop recording. Help. Okay, I can.
First, Jan
Yeah, where is she?
is in the office.
Sometimes we're giving stop. So if you haven't, you're seeing what
This isn't allowing me to stop the recording. Maybe if I hit end.